You know what? They're not. They are no smarter than anyone here. I'm not kidding. There's data about this. The one thing that they do better than most people is they act brave. That's it. I interviewed 364 of them on this question. They act brave. That's it. They act like they know what they're doing. You know, no disrespect to whoever your CEO is, but you know, they probably know. You know, and that's why it's so hard to get stuff done, and it goes through so many checks and balances because they need input from people who do know what they're doing, right? But what they are is, to varying degrees, risk takers. So they act brave and they're willing to go up, and you can tell risk takers or pioneers because they're the ones with arrows in their backs, right? They're willing to take it. That's the only difference. So as it pertains to, you know, the Hispanic marketplace, this was a picture of my first CEO meeting. I was scared like Dorothy the Wizard of Oz. And it happened to be with Forbes, the CEO of Forbes. I got there at 2 o'clock, or 10 minutes to 2. My appointment was scheduled for 2. I checked in, I let the receptionist know that I'm here. And 2:15, 2:30 goes by. You know, I go up and say, "Oh, I just let you know, I'm still here. Oh, I'm sorry, he's really busy." Okay. 2:45, 3 o'clock, 3:15, 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'm still waiting in this man's lobby. And I don't go up again because she sees that I'm still waiting. 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm waiting 3 hours in this lobby. Finally says, Mr. Berman, come right up. So I go in there, and I sit down, and like a lightning bolt, this man walks in to this sort of lawyerly looking office, and he puts his hands in this position. Anyone ever see a man in a meeting with his hands behind their heads? Wait, are you kidding me? You've never seen anyone do that? It's total alpha male behavior. And so he goes like this, and I'm waiting 3 hours in his office, and he says, "You tell me why I should give you 2 minutes of my time. Go." That's exactly what he said. Talk about like a cold call. I was terrified, for real. I was really nervous. So I just looked at him, and I couldn't say anything except, "If you give me 2 minutes of your time, I'll give you some gum." Because what? So I got some bazooka. Because I tend to carry a bazooka because it reminds me of childish behavior. And he goes, he actually thought about it, he goes, "Done." So I go and open up my briefcase, and I had bazooka, and he opens it up, he looks at the cartoon, puts it in his mouth, says, "I can blow a bigger bubble than you." I'm like, "What?" Just, "Come on," like that. I'm like, "All right," and I'm going, trying to blow, and he was good. I give him credit, he nailed it. He did. I don't know where that came from, but he did. I couldn't even get a bubble out. I was going to vomit. And anyway, so he blew the bubble, and he beat me. He acted great, evidently. He goes, "I like you. What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I talked to this. Okay, done." I wasn't with him for a third minute, and it was what I sought to do. We printed 1 million copies of a magazine that we did. Entitled Portrait of the New American, distributed it in a plastic polybag with Forbes, which was something they'd never done before, so it was a real stretch, and it was a blast. The reason that this is pertinent, I think, to us here in this room is you've got to act brave. You know, your compensation system is not set up to allow you to do that. It just isn't. We all do what we're paid for, right? That's it. Let's just, be accurate. You have variable compensation, right? You guys have variable compensation. Can you tell me what your program is without revealing any percentages? What are you scored on in your role?
My role?
Yeah. What are your metrics?
Individual
Age of performance, zone performance. So just those two? No more than those? Does anybody have more than 2 metrics that they're scored on? Who said, "Oh yeah"? Go ahead. Yeah, can you just tell me what you have? Without percentages, but.
Yeah, production, quality production, bank. What's one?
All right. So, well, are you working for the same company? Maybe you summarize, right? Okay, so you summarize. So you all have similar enough metrics. Okay. The most successful company on the topic of Hispanic and Latino that I've seen so far actually does not report through public affairs, does not report through marketing, reports to the chief financial officer of the firm, CFO. Now that's a totally revolutionary idea on this topic, for sure, because it doesn't intuitively make sense unless you think about this as making money. So the people in Hispanic and Latino have to be responsible for their own P&L and then be able to integrate it within the overarching organization. They have to be accountable with metrics. That's all. It's not how many events like this did you have. You know, this may not work for you. It just depends what you do with it. And I don't know if you're here because you really wanted to be, or it's some continuing education requirement. You know, I don't know, or it might be some combination of those things, but, you know, don't waste your time or mine. You know, there's no point doing this kind of stuff unless you're going to change your behavior, unless you're willing to be brave, unless you're willing to take specific steps, you know, after you leave this day-and-a-half sort of summit. And then you start seeing some results that made it a good decision for you. And the best way that I know to do that is to make it one of your metrics, because we all do what we're paid for. Does that make any sense to anyone? It's a different sort of idea. So why should you care, you know, as State Farm? These people all care. I put you at the top because you are number one in a lot of the categories, maybe all of them. But let me tell you, not for long. Certainly not in charge of the Hispanic marketplace. You know, these competitors right now, to varying degree, and this is by no means a comprehensive list. This doesn't even include banks. So, you know, you're trying to, you know, reposition yourself as a financial services company. That's a whole different but related discussion. This is just, you know, I just picked a few of your competitors, which you know much better than I do. But the ones that I see here are all doing something now in the Hispanic marketplace, something or other. Allstate has been very aggressive for a long period of time, but they're having some challenges because the marketing director just left. She was there 27 months. That's just a fact. So now the priorities changed. They just changed Hispanic ad agencies, which is another sort of interesting sort of challenge, because what a lot of our clients do is they rush to communicate. And while it's important to have effective world-class communications for sure, that's usually not the first thing that you should do for a sustainable sort of effort. There's all kind of other backbone kinds of stuff, non-glamorous stuff, grassroots, like a good neighbor really works in the Hispanic market if you act that way. Much more than the general market. Really is a big platform that you own that can be really leveraged in generating leads to retail, generating new accounts, reducing churning of existing accounts. The like a good neighbor idea with some meat on it as it pertains to Hispanic Latin America is a very viable positioning and will work. And I know you tried it to varying degrees. These are people who try everything. And basically this was about 500 different companies, different sizes and different sectors of the economy. And about 15% are kind of checking it out, 35% are trying stuff, 30% are kind of almost there, and 20% are getting it right. What goes into those points along the continuum varies by sector of the economy, but essentially this is, you know, aggregate. So let me ask you, by round of applause, how many of you think that State Farm in this region only, I'm just going to ask about this region right now, are in checking it out as regards to Hispanic and Latino? Anybody think you're in that phase, 15%? How about trial and error? Almost there? Oh, that's the type of way. It's almost there is what it's supposed to be. Almost there? No? Anyone think you're getting it right yet? Okay, so it's good for you to understand now that as a group you pretty much are trying stuff. Can anyone tell me something that you tried recently in the Latino Hispanic market? Yes, ma'am.
Cards and bakeries.
Can you speak up?
Cards and Spanish bakeries.
Cards and Spanish bakeries. Do you mean like business cards, or? And did you have some results from that? Can you tell us about the results?
They're going to bring your microphone.
Yeah, there's a microphone. Sorry, yeah, right behind. If you don't mind, I would like to hear this. Thank you.
I have a